appreciate you talking to me about season 2 and that we could even say season 2. It was delightful to get to see new episodes again. I'm curious.
It was nice for us to shoot them.
Well,
yeah, we enjoyed making them.
Yeah, I mean, the first season seems like it was out a lifetime ago, and now the second season is coming out. So
a whole global pandemic happened in between.
Yeah, it's crazy. So what are you most excited about fans getting to see with season 2?
I mean, or at least for me, what I had the most fun doing this season was just the initial shock of this world and what it is and what these keys are and what they mean and who these people are. That has worn off a little, and we have our sea legs now, and we got to come into season 2 and just have more fun in this world. And that was really enjoyable for me as an actor. So I hope that people watching will feel something like what I felt shooting it, which is just that they know these characters, they know the concept, they know the world, and now we can just play, and it's freer and more open, and it takes us into more exciting places because those rules are already there.
I think for me, there's a couple of things. There's a sort of a new, to build on what Connor said, there's a new issue of power that the Locke siblings have to grapple with. In season 2, there are the forging of new keys or people attempting to do it. And, the audience gets to find out who can make them and who can't, and why these characters are making them. Those are fun issues, I think, to get to see the characters explore for the audience. And I also love the way Dodge has shapeshifted into Gabe. It's a completely new villain energy this season. I mean, Liza's Dodge in season 1 was fantastic, but so no trend, so obvious. I mean, so Dodge wears a black robe and she's in your face. And this Dodge is undercover and subtle and, has dark plans, and it's all very secretive. And so that's a different form of evil that the Locks have to confront, which makes it more intense.
Yeah, it's scary. I mean, he certainly has great menacing face.
Yes, he does.
Well, you guys have not only done a second season, but you've also done a third season. And in that time, these characters have taken pretty big individual and life journeys. How different does the character feel now from when you first started playing them on day 1? Now that you have gotten through 3 seasons, how different do they feel?
Quite different. I mean, it's funny to go with a character over that long. I mean, it's sort of like the different, like when you buy a new pair of jeans, and it barely fits, and it's not quite right, and it's tight in some places and loose in others, and then you wear it for a while and suddenly it almost feels like a different pair of jeans. It suddenly fits better, and it fits you.
It's part of second skin.
And I really do it's a silly analogy, but I think it's pretty accurate. By the end of season 3 especially, I felt like this character was just lived in. I felt like I understood him more intuitively. In season 1, there's so much thought in every episode, every scene, where is he now? What's he thinking about? What's he worrying about? What's he coming from? Why is he saying this? What's he saying? And that was really present. And in season 2, and even more in season 3, a lot of that just felt more natural. It was just there, and it was clear, and it didn't require a whole bunch of digging to find.
I love Nina Locke. I love her heart. I loved playing her back-to-back seasons 2 and 3. Part of what made this these 2 seasons so special for me is I really like this cast, and I like the connections that I have with my fellow actors. I find working with Connor, Jessup, Emilia Jones, Jackson, Robert Scott, and the whole cast, truly, really easy. It's just organic. I have really instinctual, real sharp instincts with each of them. I like them as individuals. I think it's a great bunch, talented, So to get to create with people that I enjoy, both personally and professionally, makes it, I feel like you can go deeper in a way. So, Nina Locke's heart for me was like, it's not just something I sort of put on, but I sort of found through these people. So that's what made it special for me.
You have some wild things going on in this season, from
Yeah.
from a giant spider to a large glass used to trap a person, creepy mannequins that are going to
that
haunt
one was
me.
especially weird.
Yeah, and the creepy mannequins are going to be haunting me for the rest of my days. and even just the whole destruction of that insane house toward the end of the season. What was your personal favorite visual moment from this season?
There's a lot of them, and I found with me it was like a nice rhythm where like once every 2 weeks of shooting, I would get to do something truly ridiculous, which is like the best possible rhythm, I think. It keeps you really having a lot of fun. At the end of season 2, there's a sequence when that house is collapsing where Emilia and I were suspended in the air for a long period of time, flying together, and that was really, really fun. We laughed a lot, so that image will always stay with me.
And then the visual of what the audience will see is truly stunning. It's visually, it turned out, so our special effects on this, they did such a good job, so that moment stands out. And for me, another moment with Jackson Robert Scott, actually, I do believe that it pertains to a key, and I do believe it's used by maybe all of the Locke siblings, but he in particular uses this key in the beginning of season 1, and he's pretty tiny, and it has to do with something that makes him seem not tiny, and it's just it's delightful.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many just crazy things that happen in this season. I loved it. Especially as a photographer, I see things with that perspective. So it's so fun when there's so many just wild things going on. Well, I'm curious, Connor, with Tyler. I mean, obviously anything spoilery I will save till after it's a spoiler. This season we see Tyler come to terms with forgetting what that'll actually mean, by not being able to remember it anymore. And it's not like with his uncle and his mother who just can't remember it. He really sort of has knowledge of what's going to happen to him.
Yeah.
What was it like to explore that, especially in the relationship with his girlfriend, where, it just was heartbreaking to see them share this thing together, but for him to know that it's just slipping away?
Yeah, I think that dawning awareness of transience is something that we can all identify with. And for Tyler, really starts to feel at the beginning of season 2 that they're approaching a cliff. So much of who they are and his relationship with Jackie and his relationship with his siblings is built on his awareness of this magic. And as he realizes that might go away, he wonders if all that comes with it will go away as well. And he starts to get really scared by that and what it will mean for him and for Jackie and for everyone. And I think for him, it means more than just not being able to see or remember magic anymore. For him, so much of his identity now is tied up in this, and so much of his hopes for the future are tied up in it. And so I think it really starts to get to the core of who he is and what he's scared of and what he wants. And that's a lot. That's his real core in season 2.
Yeah, I mean, he gets to a place by the end of the season where he makes the choice not to use the memory key and to have a normal life. So what can you say to tease how that might affect things for season 3? And I mean, and whether or not that's a decision he can even stick with?
Yeah, I mean, he turns around at the end of season 2, and he's been through so much pain toward the end of season 2 that he realizes that he's not equipped to hold that at the moment, and that it's easier to just drop it, you know, literally to drop it, to let it go. And he, you know, I don't think he leaves season 2, at least I didn't feel like when I left season 2 that was resolved for him, that was the end. I mean, his relationship to these keys and his relationship to himself by proxy is not finished. So going forward, I think that he can run, but he can't hide, as the saying goes.
Well, Darby, if given the choice, would Nina choose to be aware of and to know about magic and the role that it plays in the lives of her family, that she doesn't even know how deeply affected they are by it?
Oh, yeah, that's such a good question. I don't think anyone's asked that before. My instinct says that Nina would want to know. I think Nina wants to be connected to her children. I think that's something that she needs, and maybe even more so since the passing of Rendell Locke's murder. She's the only parent, and in season 1 she questions her ability to parent. She questions her ability to parent in season 2 as well. So she puts a lot of pressure on herself, but it just means so much to her. So I think, you know, if given the choice, I think that she would like to know, because then maybe, you know, she would finally start to get some answers.
Yeah, it's so hard to watch that dynamic because you can tell this family really loves each other, and yet he's still kind of, it's not even really lying. They just know she's not going to remember it.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking to watch this Locke siblings, you know, sort of not have them. I mean, I think they even say, I think, doesn't Tyler say, like, we can either have drunk mom drinks and she sees magic, or, you know, but they don't want her to because that's, you know, she's not well, and that's not, you know, that's not what they need. That's not what she needs. So it's such a curse on this family that for as much as they want to be a family, they're apart. They're pulled apart.
There's a sad moment for me. It's not a huge moment in the show, but it stuck out to me when we were shooting it. When we've been running away from this giant spider, and Duncan is with us, and we come out into our ruined kitchen, and he is wondering what the hell just happened, and he's asking all these questions, and Tyler says something along the lines of just wait a second, and this inevitable loss, that it's not even worth trying to connect with him about what they just went through together. And to me, there was something like, on the script, it didn't come across necessarily as like sad, but there was something when we were playing it that just felt hugely sad to me, that there was like, he has this person who he wishes that he could, multiple people who he wishes could be there for him, with him, to help, and just can't. And the inevitability of that loss struck me in the moment is pretty sad.
Yeah, I felt the same way watching the moment between Nina and Bode, when he sort of gives her this gift so that they can walk through her memories, but he knows that, you know, it will remember that moment, but she won't. I mean, there's just something so emotional and moving about that.
Jackson, he the way he played that, it was, you could see it written all over his whole being. It was really quite moving to see.
That he still wants to share that moment, even though he knows that they won't both retain it.
Same moment as Connor speaking of.
Well, I appreciate you talking to me about this. I had so much fun with the season. There, like I said, are so many crazy things in it that I can't wait for season 3.